Well, hey there, guys. It's great to be with you again this week. Excited to talk about the Texit Coin cryptocurrency opportunity. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to take probably 50 minutes to go through this presentation. And so, like we do each week, this time we want to look at the compensation plan. So I've had to listen to that compensation plan and read it multiple times because there's many moving parts to it. It's not complicated, but it is a very generous compensation plan with many parts to it and also many aspects of what you can come in and take advantage of. Some people take advantage of some aspects of it, and some people take advantage of all the aspects. So that's for you to decide what you want to do. So very excited to be with you, and in this exciting time to be talking about cryptocurrency. Just 2 or 3 years ago, people had a vague idea about it, and most people weren't involved with it at all. And it was in a realm that most people knew nothing about. Well, it's becoming mainstream right now. And over the next year or 2 or 5, we'll be seeing cryptocurrency becoming mainstream. Because in the United States, we have a president and an administration that is pro-crypto. Not only are they open to it, but they're encouraging it and also actively positioning themselves as a federal government, and state governments are now doing the same thing to take advantage of it and to actually establish cryptocurrency as a reserve currency, a stockpile for wealth for the nation. So when your government is that proactive with cryptocurrency, particularly in the United States, which has an influence across the world, then it's time to sit up and listen. It's time to get involved. And so at the end of last year, we began to see a change as the new administration came in, and the elections were done in November the 6th. And the very first thing, or one of the first things that President-elect Trump did was to put in place a crypto czar. So that was a first time in history that had ever happened. So David Sachs, who is the CEO of PayPal, was appointed by President Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump, I think it was like December the 5th, to become the first crypto/AI czar for the United States, to represent the White House in that arena, in that space. And so that was the first time. And so people started to wake up and say, well, what's this all about? So it wasn't long before, when President Trump came into office in January the 20th of this year, just a few months ago, that he also started to write and sign those executive orders, many of them still writing them today within his first 100 days in office, still multiple of executive orders going out. Well, one of them was an executive order that affected cryptocurrency. He wanted to do a couple of things. One was to establish Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a national reserve, a federal currency reserve, like gold and silver and other precious coins. So right now they have upward of $17 billion of Bitcoin as a national reserve, a stockpile. So that spoke volumes. But not only that, but he spoke to Congress and to the Senate and let them know that he wanted to position the United States as the crypto capital of the world. So that happened in the first week of his presidency. And then it was March the 7th that they had the very first cryptocurrency summit at the White House. And so he brought all the important people in, and Brian Armstrong was there. He's the CEO of Coinbase. And so as a result of that summit, he went back to headquarters to hire an additional 1,000 employees for Coinbase. So you know that things are being positioned for a major, major shift to see cryptocurrency become mainstream in the financial operations of the United States, and then also the other countries that are going to be affected by that. So these things have begun to happen in the last few months, and just or probably maybe 3 weeks ago, at the end of March, our state governor, Governor Abbott, did the same thing. as what President Trump did. They passed the Senate bill in the state of Texas, I think it was Senate Bill 21, that would do the same two things, enable them to stockpile cryptocurrency as a Federal Reserve currency in the state of Texas, but also to position Texas as the number one state within the United States for pro-cryptocurrency. And so we've seen a lot of legislation starting to be formed to follow through with this executive order of President Trump that was signed there in the first part of January. And so it's probably a week doesn't go by, at least 2 weeks don't go by before we see some major changes in the cryptocurrency world, and which hits headlines and people are excited about it. Nothing ever mentions Texit Coin, which is great, because Texit Coin is in a position where it's sort of below ground right now and coming on up. So we don't want unnecessary attention at this point given to Texit Coin, because it's still developing, still growing, still adding miners, and we want to see that in place so that we are able then to take the popularity that's going to come along at a later date. So we want everybody to be looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP and others while Texit Coin is getting itself positioned for great growth. And so it was only last week, maybe April the 7th or 8th, where President Trump again negated one of the platforms with the IRS that was put in place in the last month or so of the prior administration. So that was to direct the IRS to actually tax some portion of the cryptocurrency world. And it was the DeFi, or decentralized finance. And that's organizations that operate like banks. They can loan and they can borrow and they can exchange peer-to-peer on the back of other networks, like a network of Ethereum. So the DeFi platforms operate off the back of established networks like Ethereum, and they can do peer-to-peer exchanges. They can loan, they can borrow cryptocurrency, they can do all sorts of things like that. And this IRS was directed under the Biden administration to apply the same taxes to that platform as they do to the actual exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken, et cetera. And so President Trump just last week nullified that, brought that to an end. So he is very proactive in terms of not taxing cryptocurrency activities, transactions, and that's all being put into place right now. It's so new, so fresh that we have not seen the results of that yet. It's all being formulated, but we are in a stage of very, very pro-federal and state government actions towards cryptocurrency. So this is the time to get involved. And so my wife and I learned about the Texit Coin at the back end of last year in December, and we learned several things about it. So we started looking into it. We went and met the founder, Bobby Gray, up in McKinney, just north of Dallas, here in Texas, met him, make sure he was real, found out about his background, what his expertise was or is in this whole realm. And so we were very pleasantly surprised and wanted to follow up with this and pursue it. We wanted to pray about it, see what God wanted us to do in that whole realm of cryptocurrency. We were brand new to it, didn't even know how to spell it. But we just sensed this is the time to get involved with cryptocurrency because of where the government was positioning itself, and also the state government as well. So here's several things that we learned about the Texit Coin. And then I'm going to go into show you how the compensation plan works so you can make a decision on whether this is going to be a benefit to you and how it can be a benefit to you. Number one, we learned that the Texit Coin itself, the network, is exclusively mined here in Texas. So on the great network that houses the computer nodes that actually do all the computations on the network, that's housed exclusively here in China. China has been blocked in the sense that it cannot take over Texit Coin like it did with Bitcoin, Ethereum, where it mines 80% of that. and we have no control over that. So the guys that started those coin networks lost control of it. Now they have no control, and major countries are working that. And so when we realized that Texit Coin is exclusively mined here in Texas, it really made us sit up and listen and see that this was going to be a powerful opportunity where there's a lot of security and a lot of safety with that. So basically, what is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency really is a digital coin, a digital currency that operates outside of the bank. Now, we've all been using digital currencies for many years, probably 20 years. We've all been involved with digital coins or digital currency without really knowing it. If you've ever done any transactions with Cash App or PayPal or Venmo or Zelle, that's all digital. And those are considered digital hot wallets because you can take those zeros and ones that are on that digital base and transfer those from one person to another person. I got my hair cut today, went on to Venmo and transferred $25 from my Venmo to my hairdresser's Venmo, boom, and it was done. So that never went to a bank. It bypassed the bank and went into her Venmo account. And so that's digital. That's a digital currency. We've been operating that way for many years without realizing we're in the digital world. So cryptocurrency is another step further than that, where it bypasses the banks altogether. Now, my Zelle account, which is digital, ends up through my bank. I got to tie a bank account to it so it can pull from that bank account, and then persons that I pay goes into their bank account. So I can't operate with Zelle now outside of a bank account because the banks want a portion of that pie. So cryptocurrency works totally 100% outside of the banking system, and it operates on networks. So it creates these digital coins that can be then moved onto coin exchanges and bought and sold. You can pay peer-to-peer, where I had a good friend of mine who bought several loads of dirt and paid through it through digital coins, paid the person who had an account in the digital coin arena, and they got paid peer-to-peer that way, moving coins around. So what happens in these networks, these digital coin networks, and Texit Coin works the same way, you'll have a hundreds of thousands of these digital computer nodes that are functioning, working together on a network. Now, the Texit Coin network is a private network, so it's off the grid, it's behind firewalls, and so people can't break in and start mining the coin. You have to be invited in as a miner. That's a safeguard. So these digital computer nodes are doing several things. Number one, they are tracking the transfer of coins in and out of that network. So when a person who owns coins on that network takes them out and puts them on an exchange and buys or sells them and then brings that coin back, those are transactions that are happening. So every single transaction in that network then is checked by 6 other computer nodes and make sure that transaction is accurate. There's no fraud involved. Nobody's breaking in. And when 6 other nodes have validated that transaction, it locks it up into what we call a blockchain. So a blockchain is typically a digital ledger. It's all those transactions that are happening and 6 other computer nodes that are validating those transactions, all that gets locked up in a digital ledger called a blockchain. And then that happens every 3 minutes. On the Texit Coin network, it's every 3 minutes. Another network may do it every 10 minutes or so. So then another blockchain is made from all those exchanges and all those transactions that are happening every 3 minutes. It locks it up, and then so the next blockchain is linked to the previous blockchain, and so you've got this huge digital ledger that's happening. Also, one of the operations that happens on the network is that these computer nodes are competing with one another to solve pretty heavy, pretty in-depth mathematical equations. So those mathematical equations are created in the network through the algorithm, and then those computer nodes are competing and racing against each other to solve it. As soon as one computer node solves that equation, a reward happens to that computer node through digital coins. And so that's happening every 3 minutes. And so at the end of the day, that algorithm that has been fed into that network causes those computer nodes to band all those coins together and create a stockpile of those coins, which are then divided out at the end of the day amongst all those mines, all those computer nodes. So if you own one computer node, you get one share of those coins that have been divided up at the end of the day. If you own 3 of those computer nodes, you get 3 shares of that dividing out that happens. And so that's basically how the system or the network works with digital coins. Now, with the digital coin exchanges, you can take those coins out of a cold wallet storage to a hot wallet storage, and then you can buy and sell and exchange those on the various exchanges. Then you can take it to a level 1 or a tier 1 exchange, like a Coinbase, like a Kraken, where your bank account is tied to that, or a Visa card is tied to that, and you can spend it out here in the real world, pull it into your bank account. And so that's how you on-ramp into the digital world out of the network, and then you off-ramp out into the bank accounts or the real world with a Visa card. So that's just a thumbnail sketch of how that works and how that operates. I'm going to show you here, I'm going to share my screen and show you how this functions and operates with the network of the digital Texit Coin. So let me just get onto my screen here, and we'll get that open for you. All right, so we're sharing a website called mine, M-I-N-E-T-X-C.com. And anybody can go to this mine. In fact, I'm not even signed in. You can see that up in the upper right. I'm not signed into that. So it will not show my specific production of coins, but you'll see the network production of coins, and anybody can do this. So let's look at a few of these things here, and we'll be able to see from this what's actually happening in that network. And let me see if I can see a few of these items here. I'll put my notebook up here and write down some of these things. So the first thing is the hash rate. This is the hash rate or the power of the network. And so you can see that going up and down on a daily basis as the various blocks are being created. And this is real time. So as you look at this, you're going to be able to see in real time what is happening in the network, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the ups and the downs of it all. And so that red line here at the top tells us how many hash power or how many sold mines there are in that network. So right here it says 1,194.1 gigahash. And so if we translated that as mega hash, that would be 11,941 megahash. That's how many mines have been sold. Now, we know that in the network, a mine is worth 100 megahash. That's the operating power of a mine. So that lets us know there's 11,941 mines that are being sold in this network. So it's just shy over 1% of the mines that have been sold in this network. Let's go over here to our Texit or TXC. That's our coins that are shared out. And we can look at a weekly deal or a monthly deal. And you'll be able to see on a month-to-month basis what's the average of the number of coins. TXC is the Texit coin. So right here, we're looking at in March and April, here's April, an average of 95,134 coins have been created on a daily basis. And so that's what's happening right now. Again, you can change that and you'll be able to see that on a weekly basis. But basically, you're up to the same on a weekly basis. It's dropping down to 94, up to 96, down to 93. So on average, if you go to a month, that's where it averages it out. So you're looking now at a 95,000 coins basically on a daily basis is what's being divided out amongst those 11,941 mines, because there's 11,941 mega hash. So that's how you get the number of coins a day. So if you did divide the 95,000 coins a day by those 11,941, and you're going to come up with about 8 coins a day is how we get to the number of coins that we're getting a day. So let's look over here at some other things. Here we see the total number of miners. So right today, we have 3,201 miners Those are the people that own those computer nodes. They're called miners. And the computer nodes are called mines because they are mining the coins or creating those coins. And so that's some of the items that you can look at here. Average per miner. So if we look at that on a monthly basis, so here we are, the average coins across the network for the miners is 37.6 coins on a daily basis. So that means if there's 8 coins for one mine, so we're looking at 8 5s, 8 4s, yeah, probably about 4 mines is the average of what miners would own to get that average of 37. So there's some good information on here that you can look at. You can look at the commissions that are being paid out in green, in also relationship to the revenue. So the revenue is the money, the amount of money that's coming in on a weekly basis. You can see it here, a monthly basis. So roughly half of what comes in is going out in commission. And we'll be looking at that here in a minute. So you can get on that and play with that. And if you are a miner, you can actually sign in and you'll be able to see what's happening with your particular mine as well. So let's take a look at that and the details of how that opportunity works for you. Let me say that this is not a scam. We've been with it now for 4 months. My wife, Lisa, and I have been with it for 4 months, and we've seen tremendous results from it. It's not a scam when the company is spending $88,000 in putting digital billboards up in Dallas-Fort Worth area, in Houston, and San Antonio, $88,000 for that. So no one is going to do a scam and put that sort of money into advertising. And I've seen several of those billboards across the city here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So it's not a Ponzi scheme either. People aren't getting rich out of this from other people's money. Now, they are creating coins themselves because they're owning their own mines, producing the coins, and the value of those coins are going up. So that's how they're making their money. But you're not making money off the back of other people. So you're actually getting something for your money. So if you're going to buy a mine for $995, you actually get a computer node in your name. You get an actual coin, a hard copy coin, to your mine with the code on the back to get into your mine, so you can actually watch on a daily basis what that mine is doing. So that's what you're buying. You're buying a share or a part of that network, and you can buy more than just one mine, and we'll look at that in more detail here. But you're getting something for your money. You're not just passing that on and the people above you get rich. And you got to look around and find someone just as naive as you were and get their money so you can make some money. That's a Ponzi scheme where you're just putting money into a system. So it's not that. And it's not multi-level marketing either. Now, it's got some good aspects of multi-level marketing, and there are good aspects of that. But you don't have to get involved in that aspect of it, and I'll share that with you. But there's no minimal requirements to do anything. You don't have to share this with people. You don't have to buy a minimal monthly amount of anything to qualify to get bonuses or commissions, etc. So it's a tremendous program that enables you to actually create your coins, get value for those coins, invite other people, friends, family members to also do the same if you want to do that as well. So we've looked into it. We've been involved in it, as I said, for 4 months now. We've seen some tremendous results from it. So basically, just to recap, it's exclusively mined here in Texas, so it's secure and it's controlled. It's more and more decentralized. Right now, they've got 3 centers around the DFW area. Ultimately, they'll get to 35 of these decentralized, redundant networks that back it all up right across the Texas area. But then also they're moving into home-based computers that will actually be mines that you can purchase and have in your home as part of the decentralized mining of the Texit Coin. So they're moving in that direction. They're not there yet. We're only a year old. So people say, well, I'm going to wait until they get more stabilized and more decentralized. Well, the longer you wait to come on in and take advantage of that, the less coins you're going to be producing by the time that those coins are worth something that's going to actually change your lifestyle with the wealth that will come out of that. And so that's the first point. It's exclusively mined in Texas. It's limited to 10% foreign ownership. So big corporations or foreign countries can't come in like they did with China and Bitcoin and earn or own more than 51% of it and therefore take it sideways and be able to make decisions on what happens with it. It's also limited to 9 mines. You cannot buy more than 9 mines. So again, corporations can't come in and buy it all up and take it sideways. So these principles are being put in as pillars to the network to give it stability, to give it longevity, and to stabilize it. What they've learned from Bitcoin, what they learned from Ethereum, they've taken those good things and built into the Texit Coin network and taken the bad things out. And so that it's a very, very well protected entity. And also it's crowdsourced. And that was something that we were very interested in because it's going to be people like you and me that are buying the mines because you can only buy 9 mines. So that puts you level playing field with corporations or businesses that want to come in. All they can buy is 9 mines as well. So a network marketing system works where those that get in early make all the money and those that get in late barely make anything. Well, those that got in early, they are also getting 8 coins a day per mine, just like you are if you just got in today. You'd be making 8 coins a day. They got in and the mine was worth $995 to purchase that. Same for you. So they are probably a little further ahead than me because they bought earlier, therefore they got more coins that are being produced because you produce those coins on a daily basis. So they got more coins stashed up. Therefore, the value of those coins are going to be worth more because of the volume of coins they've got. But they're not getting ahead because they're standing on my shoulders. They're getting ahead because they got in early. So it's a level playing field, and it's tremendous to see that opportunity and how that works. I'm going to take my digital whiteboard here, and I'm going to turn that on for you so that you can see this compensation plan and how it works for you. I'm going to give you 4 aspects of the compensation plan, and you can make a decision on what's going to work for you and how you want to benefit from it. And you don't have to take all of these 4. You can take 1 or 2 of them, depending upon what you want to actually see happen for you. So let me share this here with you. All right. So basically, a mine, as I've been saying, with the Texit network, Texit Coin network, is $995. So that's true for everybody, regardless of whether you got in a year before or just yesterday. Your mine's going to cost you $995, and that's what you're paying to get your mine. You get a corresponding hard copy coin with your code on it to get into the back end of that, to watch your coins on a daily basis, what they're worth and how much you're getting. It'll also give you the various exchanges. You can go on a DEX trade where the coin is being traded. You go on to Bitmart to see where it's being traded, and other exchanges there to see what that is doing. So it's $995 for the mine, and right now those mines are producing 8 coins a day. And if you go out on DEX Trade and Bitmart and take a look, right now, those coins are actually being traded at 48 cents a coin. So that's really what they're valued at now. Now, when Lisa and I got involved, it was actually, let's see, December the 18th is when we got involved in that. So December the 18th, and it was 8 cents a coin. So we've seen it go from 8 cents a coin to 48 cents a coin in 4 months. So it's heading in the right direction. So as we're producing those coins on a daily basis in our mines, those digital coins, the value of those coins is going up. And that's why we're encouraging people to get in as early as you can, because it's the number of coins that you're going for over a period of time. So it's not like the coins we made back in December are still worth 8 cents. Those coins we made in December when they were 8 cents, those same coins now are worth 48 cents. And so that is the powerful thing of this, and the market is driving those up. So let's see, if you're thinking about, man, when will I get my return on my investment? I put $9.95 in. What's the risk of that? Well, it's a very minimal risk. I mean, I can't guarantee anything when it comes to cryptocurrency, but from what we're seeing in the exchange of those coins and what's happening now, we're at 48 cents a coin. and we're going to say, okay, if you're doing 8 coins a day and they're worth 48 cents each, what's your value on a daily basis?
$3.84.
Well, there you are. Thank you, my friend Marcelo. $3.84. All right. That's what we are getting on a daily basis. So now we'll take that and we'll divide 995. We'll divide it by the 384, and that'll tell us how many days that'll transpire before we've actually got our 995 back.
259.
Great. So 259 days is what it's going to take. So let's divide that by 30, and so we can see how many months that will be.
It'll be 8.5 months, roughly.
Okay, great.
8.6 precisely.
Super. So you're looking at 8 months at the worst case scenario. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this coin is actually going up in value. So if this coin stagnated at 48 cents, that's how long it's going to take. But it's going up all the time. As I said, in just 4 months, we went from 8 cents to 48 cents a coin. So really, you're going to get your investment back a lot earlier than 8 months. In fact, Lisa got her mine. We didn't add anything to it. We didn't try to increase it. We didn't add any extra power to it. And it took her actually 3 months and 2 weeks. And her coins that she created, a couple of thousand coins over that 3 months and 2 weeks, and she was right at $1,008, if I can remember. So she covered that $995 in 3 months and 2 weeks, not 8 months. And so that's typically what's going to happen with you. But that's if you're a nail biter and you're scared about your investment. So we're telling you, listen, if you got $995, put it in here and just see what happens and allow those value of the coins to increase. And in a matter of a few months, you've actually got that money back. You can take those coins out at any time, put them on Dex Trade, sell them, pull that out, and put that back in your bank account. I would advise you not to do that because those coins are going to increase in value and multiply all the time. So let's see what would happen here if you left that in maybe for maybe a year, and we'll see where you'll be at that point. So these happen over a period of time. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme where you're in for a couple of days, pull it out, and now you're super rich. That's never going to happen because you're creating coins for the long haul as those coins increase in value. So the graph would look something like this, where it would start off very low value, then gradually increase, and then move on up and start multiplying. Now, when we got involved with this opportunity just 4 months ago, that coin was worth 8 cents. Right here, this was, say, December of 24, and it was worth 8 cents, as I said. But it had been traded starting on Dex Trade back in May 17th, something like that, in 24. So it had already been traded for 6 months. So back here in May of 24, it started trading at 0.8 of a penny. 0.8 of a penny. So in 6 months, it's gone from 0.8 of a penny to 8 cents a coin. And so now we are here in April of 25, and we are at 48 cents a coin. So you can see what's happening there. I mean, we're moving like this in terms of the value of the coin. So the earlier you get in, it's not that the coins may be worth much, but you're producing that number of coins. You're increasing the number of those coins over a period of time, and the value of those coins are going up for every single one of them. Even if you created them a year ago, that one coin that you created at 0.8 of a penny now is worth 48 cents. And so we're climbing up there. So we are predicting that sometime this year, we are looking at that coin being worth $16 a coin. And why are they predicting that? They're predicting that based upon several reasons. And one is they've tracked the historical data of Bitcoin, which has been in the market for, well, probably since 2008. And so we've got some good history there of Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP, the Ripple coin. And so based upon these coins, we can see what's happened to them and what and where they are and where the Texit coin is right now, and look at this historical data and start to make some good calculations about where the Texit coin will be. That's number one. But the second thing is the strong, robust nature of the Texit coin itself. And as we said earlier, we've got now what we say close to, it's over 3,000 miners that now are in that. Let me look at the figure I wrote down. Yeah, 3,201 miners that are in that. And we're just on 12 months of age where they started trading, although the first blockchain was actually mined in January of last year, but then they had to mine enough to get the coins and then put them up on Dex Trade, where they started to trade with them. So that's when they actually started, January of last year, but May when they started trading those coins. And now we got over 3,000 miners, and 1% of those mines have been sold. And so we're the robust nature of that and being traded now on 3 different coin exchanges. And so the prediction is that we will be, this time next year, they're looking at $80 a coin. This is April of 26. And this is why we want you to get involved and stay involved. Don't take those coins out and sell them and get your money back and say, that was a nice ride. No, leave those coins in there and let them grow and develop and let the value of those coins increase over time. And you'll be able to be in a position to take advantage of that wealth that it's created at $80 a coin. So let's look at that on here. And so if you are producing 8 coins a day, and this time next year, 365 days, how many coins are you going to be having?
1,920.
That's how many coins you should have in your wallet this time next year. All right. So we're going to actually divide that by 2 because, as I said earlier, the number of coins are coming down in terms of your share because the number of miners that are coming in is increasing. And so at the end of the day, those 95,000 coins are being divided out amongst the miners, amongst the number of mines that they own. And so the number of those coins are going down as the value of those coins are going up. So if we divide that by 2, we're going to be at
1,460.
This time next year. Great. That's conservatively speaking because we're dividing that number by 2. And so if we are at $80 a coin, what's our value that we have available then?
$116,800.
Great. Now that's quite the investment. You put $9.95 in for your mine and you've done nothing else but let it sit there and create those coins. And so that investment now has given you $116,800 available to you. Isn't that something? And that's doing nothing. That's not sharing with anybody. You basically get your coin and throw that in the back closet and forget about it because your mine is what's producing the coins for you. You don't have any monthly minimal nothing to do. You don't have to share it. You don't have to qualify every month to get those coins. You actually own a share or part of that whole network, the number of mines that you have purchased, and you'll be getting those coins. So that's what's available to you for your investment. If you leave it in, now, as I said, after 3 months, we reached our investment point where we got it back, but we didn't go and sell it because we could see what was happening with the value of those coins from 8 cents a coin at that point in time. I think it was maybe 35 cents a coin when we reached that level. So it's going up. So I'm hoping that this month we'll punch through the 50-cent mark and continue to climb that through as they get on the various exchanges out there. So I want to show you now how you can actually increase the number of those coins, because that's really at the end of the day is what you want. You want the volume of those coins to be there. So here's the first thing you do. You can go out and buy those coins on Dex Trade. You can go there, create an account, and you can, or Bitmart, you can create an account there, and that's where the coins are being traded. Coin Market Cap is another one. You could see the Texit Coin being traded there. and you can buy them. You'll be buying them about roughly 48 cents, 49 cents. Some people have them out there for sale at 50 cents, a little higher than what the market is actually bearing right now. So if you really want to pick up 1,000 coins, right now is a good thing to do at 48 cents a coin or 49 cents a coin. Pick up 1,000 coins, throw them into your wallet, and hang on to them, because they're not going to be 48 cents forever. They're going to be up to the $16 a coin and $80 a coin here before long. So you can buy coins. That's one way to do it. Here's another way to do it. So if you are buying a mine for $9.95, that's one mine. And right now that mine is producing 8 coins a day. The company, the Texit Coin company, allows you to buy 3 mines. So it's 3 times that $9.95. And if you buy 3 mines, they're going to give you 1 free. All right. So that 3 mines is going to be functioning like it is 4 mines. You've only bought 3, but it's functioning like it's 4 mines because they're giving you 1 free. They've given you actually an extra 100 mega hash, or the production of that mine. So if you do that, now your mine is actually creating 32 coins a day, because it's 8 times that 4. So that's what you're getting on a daily basis. So that's a great way to be able to increase the production of your coins to get the amount of coins you want when the value is going through the roof and you want to cash out. You can cash out anytime. There's no rules and regulations on this. When you get this coin, there's a code on the back that actually creates your wallet. You scan that QR code there and you get your wallet. And that's a cold storage wallet. Nobody can break in and get that. Once you take that coin out of this package and peel that sticker off the back, there's a QR code on there that turns this into a hot wallet, which enables all those coins that are in there to be taken out and traded on the various coin databases. So you can also buy 6 mines. If you buy 6 mines, the company is going to give you an extra 2 mines for free. So there's a savings of $2,000 right there when you buy 6 mines. And so now your mine is actually working like it's 8 mines. The 6 you bought plus the 2 free. So 8 eighths is 64. So you are now producing 64 coins in your account on a daily basis because of what you purchased. So if you can do this, I encourage you to do it, because right off the get-go, on your first day, you'll be making 64 coins. And so you'll see those coins rapidly grow. And then you max out at 9 mines. As I said earlier, you cannot buy more than 9 mines, so it's a level playing field for everybody. They'll give you an extra 3 mines free. Now you're functioning as if you got 12 mines. So 12 eighths are 96. So you actually are now producing 96 coins on a daily basis. So if you can do this, I advise you to do it. Then you're not going out to buy those coins. You're just buying the mines. That's better, because if you bought, say, 500 coins or 1,000 coins, you still got 1,000 coins and you're making 8 coins a day. But if you buy extra mines, those are making those additional coins on a daily basis. So if you've got 96 coins, almost 100 coins a day that you're producing, it won't take 5 days or 10 days and you've got 1,000 coins, but then you've got that every day, 96 coins. You don't just tap out at the number of coins you purchase. So that's definitely a powerful way to go if you wanted to do that. So that's an option. And again, there's no minimal monthly requirements for that. You haven't had to share it with anybody. You haven't had to do anything on a monthly basis to qualify for these coins. You bought the mines. The mines are doing the work for you in the production of those coins. I'm going to look at this 6 mine deal, which actually is functioning at 8 mines in terms of its production. And we'll look at 64 coins a day, where that'll get you this time next year. So let's take a look at that. If we do 64 coins a day, and let's multiply that by 365 to see how many coins you'll have this time next year.
23,360.
Great. That's how many coins you're going to have On this time next year, we multiply by 365. Again, we're going to divide that by 2 to be conservative because the number of coins are going to be dropping over a period of time. And so we'll be at
11,680.
Great. Okay, that's what you expect to be this time next year if you bought 6 mines, sorry. And with those 6 mines, getting those extra 2, you are now creating the ability of like 8 mines times those 8 coins. And that was what got us to the 64 coins a day. So we're going to multiply that by $80 if we get to that point this time next year. And you looking at
$934,400.
all right. That is an amazing amount, $934,400. And you bought that one mine for $995. And I think before, if we calculate that one mine at 8 coins a day, this time next year, the 365 days, that one mine was going to produce enough coins valued at $80 each. I believe we had said 116,800. So look at the difference between one mine and 6 mines, because it's the number of coins that we're looking at. And so again, that's the way to go. If you can do that, there's no pressure on this thing. It's not like you got to make this decision by 10 o'clock tonight or the deal's off. It's just there for everybody. If you got the funding to do it, if you got your funding in other places that is an investment for you, you can pull that out, buy this. If you got precious metal, gold, silver, you can buy mines. You can trade it. If you got cryptocurrency, you can trade it in and buy these mines, all sorts of ways to get this. So if you have the ability to do it, then this is the way to go to buy those additional mines. And you can make some serious changes in your lifestyle or the lifestyle of your family if you cash out this time next year. Again, there's no guarantee on this. I got no crystal ball, but we're looking at the progression of this over time and what it's actually produced in the last 12 months and where it's going in terms of the multiplication factor. Now, going from 0.8 of a penny to 8 cents a coin to 18 cents a coin to 34 cents a coin doesn't look like much because we're talking cents. But when you get to $5 a coin, to $10 a coin, to $16 a coin, to $32 a coin, now you're in the dollar range and it starts to multiply extremely rapidly. All right, let me tell you a little bit about Mega Hash. This is the third aspect of what you can take advantage of. Just to recap, you can buy one mine, and that mine will then produce for you at 8 coins a day, and you can just get the value of those coins going up over time. Secondly, you can buy multiple mines, 3 mines, 6 mines, and 9 mines are the bonuses. Now, you can buy 2 mines or you can buy 4 mines. It doesn't matter. But the bonuses come in at the 3, 6, and 9 level where they throw those extra mines in for you. And you can really begin to see your coins multiply that way. Now, here's the third option for you. If you want to see the increased production of the mine that you purchased. So we're going to talk about Mega Hash just here for a minute, so you get an understanding of what that is. It's a term that they use in the crypto industry to actually talk about the production power of your mine. And that's really what it is. It's the power of production. And it's what causes your mine to create those coins. All right. So a one mine actually is functioning the 100 mega hash. So if you buy one mine, you're getting 100 mega hash for that mine. That's what it's producing. That's its production power, 100 mega hash. And that's what's creating your 8 coins on a daily basis. So let's look at how this would work. If you wanted to increase your mega hash so that it's actually creating more coins on a daily basis, here's what the company allows you to do. If you share this opportunity with 3 people, so they come in and buy a mine, you are actually going to get a reward for increasing the number of mines on the network, because we got 100 million mega hash in the network. That's 1 million mines. And so we're at 1% of that, 11,000 mega hash, just over 1%. So to actually build this mine, this network, and increase its power and its robustness to actually be up on other exchanges like Coinbase, we got to get there. So we get there by selling our mines, by producing the coins, by being more robust with it. So if you can share this with 3 other people, your sister, your brother-in-law, your mother, then they're going to give you another 100 mega hash for doing that. So you got the one mine you purchased, but now you got 200 mega hash. So you're actually functioning with 16 coins on a daily basis because of that extra mega hash. However, if you're able to do this within 30 days, you get 3 people buying their mines. It doesn't matter if they buy 1, 6, 9, really doesn't matter. It's the people that you're getting in to the network to do that themselves. So if you can do within 30 days, the company's going to give you another 100 mega hash for doing it within 30 days. And now you're at 24 coins, 3 times 8, 24 coins a day. And you see what's happening there. And you can do this until you want to stop. There's no limitation on this. So again, you share with one person, another person, a third person. Again, that's the company's going to give you 100 mega hash. And now you're at 32 coins a day. This is how I've grown my mine, just by sharing this opportunity with other people. And every time a third person comes in here, they get another 100 mega hash, they start their journey. They're excited about it. They're producing coins. They're seeing the value of their coins increase. So this is something you don't want to keep to yourself, not unless you're a selfish person. But again, if you do that within 30 days of doing that last lot, even if the first lot didn't take you 30 days, it may have taken you 6 months to get a hang of it, but you still got the opportunity of doing a 30-day block of people, and you'll get another 100 mega hash if you do that within 30 days. And now you're at 40 coins a day. Isn't that incredible? So this is an opportunity that you can take advantage of. You bought one mine for $9.95, and it was producing 100 mega hash. Now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're at 500 mega hash, producing 40 coins on a daily basis. So it's going to take time. Now, had a person bought 5 mines to start with, well, 4 because they get one free. Say you bought 4 mines, and because you get that extra one free, that's 5 mines. So had you bought that right off the bat, you would have been producing 40 coins from day one. So that's the quickest way to do it, is to buy the mines. But if you can only afford one mine and you can't get the money for the other ones, then you can just introduce this opportunity to other people and grow the mega hash of your mine and get there the same way. And let me mention this, I didn't mention it earlier, but you got 30 days to buy those multiple mines. Say, for example, you want 3 mines. You see the advantage of that because I'll buy 3 and I get that extra one free. So if you only got the money for one mine right now, you got 30 days to get the other 2 mines in, and then on the purchase of that 3rd mine, you get that one free. So you got 30 days to do that. So there's no great pressure on you to have to, sell your firstborn child to do this. So let's look at that. We said 40 coins that you were producing because you had 500 mega hash. So if you were doing that, let's look at a year's growth on that. 40 times 365 coins a day. How many coins would you have in 12 months?
14,600.
Okay, 14,600 coins you'll have this time next year. If you added that amount of time on it, and we'll divide that by 2. So we're at 7,300.
300.
Yep, great. So that's what you're going to be this time next year with a 500 mega hash account with those extra mega hashes in because you shared this opportunity with other people. So again, we'll look at $80 a coin. Where will you be?
$584,000.
And what did you buy? One mine for $995. Now look at your return on investment. Because of that additional mega hash that the company was rewarding you with. Now that's a sizable amount of money. You can buy a house with that, USD. Now let me say this to you. You may say, well, we're from another country and 995 USD to buy that mine. That's like double that in my country because of the value of the dollar where you may be. Well, I understand that, but all the payout would be double as well. So if you're in a country where the value of your dollar is such that you have to come up with twice that much to buy a mine, then this 584,000 US dollars would be twice that in your currency. So the payout works as well. So don't be focused on how much it costs you to get in, because the payout is going to be maximized for you as well. So that's the power of being able to increase your mega hash. That's the third option for you. That's when you are able to share it with family members and friends, and the company rewards you for doing that, for helping to increase the mines in the network. You get mega hash for that. So let me show you one last thing here, and then we'll wrap it up for this session. We looked at earlier when we were talking about this, if you can bring people into this opportunity and share it with them. Now, you don't have to share all this stuff like I'm doing. Just bring them to this webinar and I'll do it for you. If you're a little bit reluctant to share the details of this, I can do it for you. Just hop on. It's a free ride and I can show you how to do it or do it for you. So the number of people you bring in, they're increasing your hash power for your mine. Remember, every third person gets you another 100 mega hash. If you do it within 30 days, it's 200 mega hash, regardless of how many mines they actually buy. That's hash power. Now, the company also counts the mines that they purchase, because it's more valuable to the company if they bought 3 mines or 6 mines or 9 mines, because they're filling up that network quicker. So they're going to reward you for that as well. And those are called points. Every person that comes into the network is buying at least 1 mine, so there's 1 point available to you. If they buy 3 mines, it's 3 points. And the company will reward you with cash if you want cash as well along the way. And this doesn't impair the number of coins you're producing. That's totally independent. You're still producing those 8 coins a day, regardless of whether you share this with anybody or whether you get cash from the company for the number of mines that are coming in from what you did. So let's look at it this way. Again, if you brought 3 people in, your sister, brother-in-law, your mother, remember you got hash for that. But the company is counting the points. This person bought 1 mine. This next person bought 3 mines. This other person bought 6 mines. So there is a points. There's what, 6 and 3 is 9 and 1 is 10. There's 10 points. So that's about $10,000 that came into the company, because those mines are roughly $1,000 each. So they all track that for you. You just brought $10,000 into the company, into the network, because of the people you introduced this to. They call this potential cash. And the reason why they call it potential cash is because you have the ability to potentially cash into that and get that out. That's money available to you if you want it. And here's how you get it. Here is you. So here's the first person you brought in, this person over here. They're going to become part of your binary organization. You have a left side and a right side in the binary layout of this. So this person is going to sit over here on your left, and they bought 1 mine. So there's 1 point to you. This other person bought 3 mines. So they're going to sit over there. There's 3 points. So you got 4 points on your left side. This third person you brought in, we'll put them over here on your right side, and there's 6 points on your right side. So here's what the company does for you. If you can match 3 points on your left to 3 points on your right, they're going to give you $1,000 in cash, USD. So there's $1,000. So that 10,000 that you had up there now is 9,000, because you just got $1,000 out of that cash that you brought in for the company. So you got 9,000 potential cash left. So say you do the same thing another 3 times. There's the people that you brought in. So they bought 1 mine. This person bought 3 mines. This person bought 6 mines. All right. So they're going to be part of your organization. So what the company does at the end of every week, it counts up the points that have come in to you. So right here, we're looking at 4 points on the left side, 6 on the other. You just got paid $1,000. So you match 3 to 3. So those 6 points now go down to 3 points. And over here on the left, you got 4. So you got 1 point left. You start your next week with the leftover point. So you got 1 point on your left and 3 on your right. Now, as you continue to introduce this to other people, they come in, you get more hash for your mine, but you also get points for cash. So here we go on your left side. This person came in with 6 points, so we'll put them here with 6 points. And those other people came in, we'll stick them over here. Remember, you got a left and a right. It's binary. So they got 1 point over here, and then the other person got 3 points. So on this side, because of the rollover, you've actually got 7 points. And over here, you got a rollover 1 plus that's 6. You got 7 points there. And here's how you can get money on that. Every week you look at this. So if you match, we thicken that up. If you match 6 points to 6 points, then the company will give you $2,000 commission because of what you brought in. Now that 9 would normally go down to 7 because you got 2,000, but you brought in 10 more points from those people. So really, that brings your cash potential up to $10,000. So now you got 19,000 you can tap into. You've just got 2,000. So now you're down to 17,000 available to you. You see how that works? And the company tracks all this for you. You don't have to try to keep all this figured out. So you're down to $17,000 available to you. So this is a great number to keep an eye on. It'll be in your app. You'll see the potential cash increasing as other people come in. So you can go up to 9 points matching left to right to get a maximum of $3,000 USD on a weekly basis, because this is calculated every week. So we had 7 points over here on my left. I used 6 of those, so that's down to 1. And over here on my right, that 7 now is down to 1. So I start my next week off with 1 point. Those will keep rolling over. So if you have a week where nobody comes into your little organization, then they'll just keep rolling over. But here's the power of this. This is what happens after probably 4 weeks. This person here that you introduce this opportunity to, they're also sharing with their sister, mother, uncle, aunt, and they are buying 1 mine or 3 mine or whatever. They're coming into your organization in that person's minor organization. So maybe you got one person over with 1 point. This person bought 3 mines. There's an additional 4 points in your organization from people that you didn't bring in. So now it's very easy to see how that can multiply pretty rapidly. So it won't be long before you may have 12 points on your left and maybe 16 points on your right. Some of it you brought in, some of it other people brought in because they're also sharing the opportunity. So at that point, I can max out at 9, as I said. You can't get more than 9, and you get your $3,000 that week. Anything over 9, you lose because you max at 9. It doesn't roll over. So it'll roll over if it's under 9. And my 16, I get 9 out of that. And so I got 3,000. And I start my next week with 0, 0 because I maxed at 9. But other people, this person over here sharing with their friends and other friends. And so you could get 6 points from that person, a 3 mine here and a 3 mine there. They'll get the hash because they're bringing the people in, but you get the points because it's still in your organization. So that's how that can work very, very nicely for you. These money here is available to you on a weekly basis based upon the number of points in your organization, but you've got other people in your organization helping to grow their organizations, and so you can see how quickly it multiplies, and there's no depth limit to that. You can just keep building that up over a period of time, and you can get 2,000 a week, 3,000 a week over a period of 3 months. You start to see that kicking in pretty rapidly. That's what I've witnessed. Now, if you don't want this money over here, this $1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, you can say to Texit Coin, listen, keep the money this week and give me a hash for it. You keep the money, but give me hash because I want to keep creating those coins. I really don't need the money. So $1,000 is worth 100 mega hash. They can add that to your mine that week. 2,000 is worth 200 mega hash. 3,000 is worth 300 mega hash. That's available to you if you don't want to take the cash, or you can take the cash sometimes and other times opt for the hash. You can set it up that way in your app to let them know how you want that. So that is the opportunity that's available to us. It's exciting. So again, thanks for coming and sharing this time with us and learning this. If I could give you some continuing education credits, I would. because it's a lot of information you've taken down and assimilated tonight. So you may want to come back. We'll be back here again same time next week. If you want to sit through this again and get more information, it'll probably change a little if the value of those coins go up. And so our calculations will be a slightly different. So if you watch this tonight and you've come because some others have shared this opportunity with you and shared the link, well, you can get back with those people, the person that shared this with you. They will help you understand this more and clarify other things with you and help you to take advantage of that. Thank you again. Want you to take advantage of this sooner than later. If you're looking at the number of coins you're producing on a daily basis, even 8 coins a day times a week, there's 50 or so coins, 56 coins, and you multiply that by $80 a coin and what they'd be worth this time next year, then there's a few $1,000s there that you missed out on. So get in as soon as you can. Again, there's no pressure. If you do need to save money up, a couple of months to get that money to do so, I encourage you to do it anyway, just because you want to go for this ride and take advantage of this opportunity. But God bless you all. Thanks for attending.